the Royal Danish Army is the ground-based branch of the Danish defence, together with the Danish Home Guard. For the last decade, the Royal Danish Army has undergone a massive transformation of structures, equipment and training methods, abandoning its traditional role of anti-invasion defence, and instead focusing on out-of-area operations by, among other initiatives, reducing the size of the conscripted and reserve components and increasing the active component, changing from 60% support structure and 40% operational capability, to 60% combat operational capability and 40% support structure. When fully implemented, the Danish Army will be capable of deploying 1,500 troops permanently on 3 different continents continuously, or 5,000 troops for a shorter period of time, in international operations without any need for extraordinary measures such as parliamentary approval of a war funding bill. Brief organizational history: the Royal Danish Army was originally designed to prevent conflicts and war, maintain Denmark's sovereignty and protect her interest. With time, these goals have developed into also encompassing the need to protect freedom and peaceful development in the world with respect for human rights. Originally, the Danish king commanded the army into battle himself and fought on the battlefield. In 1815, however, as a result of continued evolution and division of command, 4 general commands were created with the king as the supreme authority: Zealand and adjacent islands, Funen-Langeland, Jutland and the duchies of Schleswig and Holstein. At the same time, the need for maintenance of the army in peacetime became pertinent, and the Army Operational Command was established. The Royal Danish Army has historically been an integral part of the defence of Denmark and thus involved in warfare, skirmishes and battles continuously to protect her interests. Most notably various territorial wars with Sweden, Russia and Prussia, the Napoleonic Wars on the side of France, and the Second World War, controversially and famously against the wishes of the Danish government, which had ordered immediate surrender to Germany. In modern times the Royal Danish Army has also become the backbone of Danish international missions, such as those in Kosovo, Iraq and Afghanistan. Recent deployments: the Royal Danish Army has been committed to a number of United Nations and NATO peacekeeping and unconventional warfare operations since becoming involved in the Yugoslav wars under UN mandate in 1994, most notably in the famous Operation Bar-Lebanc. The Royal Danish Army was also engaged in the Kosovo War and continues to this day to maintain peacekeeping operations in Kosovo as part of the United Nations Interim Administration Mission in Kosovo, together with the Danish Home Guard. Furthermore, the Royal Danish Army was involved in the war in Iraq from 2003 to 2007 with a significant contingent of soldiers responsible for creating and maintaining peace in the province of Basra, together with the British. Denmark lost its first soldier in Iraq on August 17, 2003. Preben Pedersen, a 34-year-old lance corporal with the Jutland Dragoon Regiment, became the first coalition soldier not from the United States or Britain to die in the Iraq War. Starting in 2001, the Royal Danish Army has also been involved in the war in Afghanistan. For the past few years, the Royal Danish Army and the British Army have been involved in heavy clashes with the Taliban in the Helmand province, where about 760 Danish soldiers control a large Batleh group. The Danish Army withdrew its combat forces from Afghanistan in May 2014. Structure of the Royal Danish Army. The structure of the Danish Army changed in 2015, leaving Danish division without brigades or support troops directly under Air's command. The 2 brigades have only command over combat battalions, as combat support and logistic support units are now grouped under various support centers. 1st Brigade consists of 4 combat battalions and is tasked with providing troops for international deployments. 2nd Brigade consists of 5 battalions and is tasked with the defense of Danish territory. Support centers contain the Army's combat support, combat logistic and general support units, and in some cases perform also tasks for the entire Danish defence structure, that is the Logistic Regiment. Army Logistics Centre and Defence Military Police Centre provides operational units for the Army and overall logistics services to Army and military police units and functions for all of the Danish defence establishment. Army staff in Karup Jagerkorpset Special Forces in Aalborg, Danish Division in Haderslev, 1st Brigade, Army International Center in Haderslev I Armored Battalion, JYDSKE Dragon Regiment 2 Armored Infantry Battalion, JYDSKE Dragon Regiment 3 Reconnaissance Battalion, Gardehauser Regimentet, includes 1 training company, V Training Battalion, JYDSKE Dragon Regiment. 2nd Brigade, Army Combat Center in Slagels I Armored Infantry Battalion, Gardehauser Regimentet I Armored Infantry Battalion, Den Kungelage Livered 2 Armored Infantry Battalion, Gardehauser Regimentet 2 Armored Infantry Battalion, Den Kungelage Livered 5 Training Battalion, Gardehauser Regimentet. Army Combat and Fire Support Center in Oksborg L, Army Combined Operations Training Center, 1st Danish Artillery Battalion. Engineer Regiment, Defense Engineering and CBRN Center in Skive, 1st Armored Engineer Battalion, 2nd EOD Battalion, 3rd Defense Construction Battalion, Driving School Midland. Signal Regiment, Defense Command Support Center in Fredericia, 1st Headquarters Battalion in Haderslev, 2nd CIS Battalion. Logistic Regiment, Army Logistics Center and Defense Military Police Center in Aalborg, 1st Logistic Battalion, 2nd Logistic Battalion, 3rd Maintenance Battalion, 4th National Support Battalion in Vordingborg, includes 1 training company, 5th Military Police Battalion, Driving School North. Army Intelligence Center in Vard, 1st Military Intelligence Battalion, 2nd Military Intelligence Battalion, Electronic Warfare Company in Fredericia, part of 1st MIBTN. Other units, Army NCO School in Vard, Royal Danish Military Academy in Copenhagen, Administrative Headquarters at Forsvarsakademiet. JYDSKE Dragon Regiment Administrative Headquarters in Holstebro, Gardehauser Regimentet Administrative Headquarters in Slagels, Mounted Squadron, Driving School South. Den Kungelage Livered Administrative Headquarters in Harvelt, Royal Guard Company, Den Kungelage Livered in Copenhagen 3 Training Battalion, Den Kungelage Livered. Home Guard Defense Regions, Defense Region North Jutland and Central Jutland, Defense Region Fyn, Southern Jutland, Defense Region Zealand. Equipment. Army Air Corps. The Danish Army Air Corps was established in 1923 following the rapid development of military aircraft technology. The Air Corps was based on 2 squadrons of Fokker CV reconnaissance aircraft from 1923 to 1932, when 17 Gloucester Gauntlet fighters were purchased to form 2 new squadrons. In 1937, 10 Fokker DXXI fighters were built on license in the Royal Army Aircraft Factory at Var-LAC. As a result of the establishment of the Royal Danish Air Force in 1950, the Army Air Corps was closed and activities transferred to the new service. During the Cold War the Army created the Army Air Service in 1971, which flew anti-tank and transport helicopters. But with the end of the Cold War and the reduction of forces the last 12 Eurocopter AS-550 helicopters were transferred to the Royal Danish Air Force in 2003 and the Army Air Service disbanded. Insignia. Regiments of the Royal Danish Army. After the end of the Cold War the Royal Danish Army began to reduce the number of brigades and combat units. Ultimately also most of the Army's regiments were disbanded, leaving just 3 of the oldest regiments in Europe in active service, JYDSKE Dragon Regiment, Jutland Dragoon Regiment, Gardehauser Regimentet, Guardhouse Regiment, Den Kungelage Livered, Royal Life Guards. Disbanded regiments include, Infantry, Dornsklev Regiment, Slesvigskfod Regiment, Prinsenslev Regiment, Stjarlensklev Regiment, Falsterskfod Regiment, Finsklev Regiment, Kungens JYDSKE Fod Regiment, Dronningens Regiment, Fodfolkets Pionra Commando, Featherens Fod Regiment, Marine Regimentet, Regiment. Cavalry, Liveden till Hest, 1st Dragoon Regiment, 2rd Dragoon Regiment, 3rd Dragoon Regiment, 4th Dragoon Regiment, 5th Dragoon Regiment, 6th Dragoon Regiment. Artillery, Kronens Artillery Regiment, Stjarlensk Artillery Regiment, Norwegisk Artillery Regiment, Zarendereisk Artillery Regiment, Kungens Artillery Regiment, Dronningens Artillery Regiment, Danish Artillery Regiment. Engineers, Stjarlensk Engineer Regiment, JYDSKE Engineer Regiment. Signals, Stjarlensk Telegraph Regiment, JYDSKE Telegraph Regiment. Logistic, Sjalinsk Train Regiment, JYDSKE Train Regiment, Danish International Logistical Centre. Air Defence, Sjalinsk LUFTV Abrams Regiment, JYDSKE LUFTV Abrams Regiment. Aviation, Harens Flyvetruppe, Harens Flyvdgenist. See also: Dankenijruk, International Security Assistance Force, equipment of the Royal Danish Army, Royal Danish Navy, Royal Danish Air Force. References